Good morning on this Sunday. Looking right now over Midtown Atlanta on what's already a pretty warm and muggy start to your Sunday of this long holiday weekend. Thanks for checking in with us here at Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Megan Packer here to update you on some of the day's top stories. Lots going on over this holiday weekend here in North Georgia, so we'll update you on some of the day's top stories. First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi will join us in just a moment with an update on your forecast. Just a heads up, prepare for storms tomorrow on your Memorial Day. She'll walk us through the timing and talk about how storms could impact your Memorial Day plans. Some of the top stories we are following this morning, including a person hit and killed by a train in Buckhead last night. We can confirm that we heard from Norfolk Southern. They said somebody was on the tracks trespassing. This was right near the Lenox Square Mall area at East Paces Ferry and Roxborough Roads. Norfolk Southern again said that the person was killed after they were hit by a train, and they send condolences to that person's family. They added in their statement, I'll say the quote here, that they said, "We would be remiss if we didn't say that train tracks are simply no place for the public. Train tracks can be uniquely dangerous places that always beg extra care to ensure everyone's safety." Now, we here at Atlanta News First have reached out to try to get some confirmation about an identification of the person who was hit and killed. That is not yet being released, but we will keep you updated right here as we learn more. A story that we have been following now for days that has a very happy ending. A man from Gwinnett County who went missing on a hike in Guatemala was found safe and alive. His family is rejoicing today. 26-year-old Zane Waliani was found yesterday morning. His sister says he is focusing on getting better right now before returning to Lilburn. Family and friends worked with crews there to eventually find Waliani on the opposite side of the volcano he was hiking. He is severely dehydrated in the hospital right now, getting the treatment he needs, so we do not know when he will return back to Metro Atlanta. First and foremost, that focus right now is getting him healthy and ready to travel back home. But let's take a look at this picture. I mean, here he is with the rescue crews that found him. You can only imagine how happy they were to find him. I believe they had said it was on the opposite side of the volcano where he had gone missing. He was hiking with a friend. He went on to continue on to the top. They were supposed to meet up after, and they did not meet up. Their friend was waiting for him, and he was not there. So unfortunately, this was a 3-4 day search that had everybody on edge. But again, a happy ending to let you know about, that he is safe in the hospital getting treatment specifically for dehydration. Cobb County Police right now are working to learn more about a man's body that was found in a vehicle. This was at an apartment area, the Highlands of West Village Apartments yesterday. It's near Smyrna. Police say it's just too early at this point to determine if foul play was involved in that. People in a section of southwest Atlanta are fed up with violence happening near a park. Deerwood Park is what we're talking about after another shooting happened here yesterday. A 39-year-old was shot around 4:45 p.m. Police say he was shot at a house that's right next to this park. Neighbors say it is not the first shooting that has happened there. As detectives work to learn more about what led up to this shooting, why the man was shot, neighbors just say they are so tired of this violence and tired of hearing gunshots there at a nice park. They want to hear the birds chirping and not gunshots there. So still don't know the circumstances surrounding that shooting, what led up to it. He was taken to the hospital and at last check was in stable condition. It is Memorial Day weekend, and there are a lot of ceremonies planned this weekend to honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice fighting for this country, including a ceremony tomorrow at the Marietta National Cemetery. We were out there yesterday on Saturday morning when scouts spent their morning placing flags at the nearly 19,000 graves out there at that national cemetery. Tomorrow, the ceremony is at noon. There will be a posting of the flags, gun salute, and several speakers. It is free and everybody is invited to come out. It should be a very moving ceremony, no doubt. Now, there are a lot of ceremonies planned tomorrow, lots happening at city halls and parks throughout the area. So definitely check with your city hall and maybe parks in your area to see where you can go. Now, we do know a lot of the ceremonies are planned for the morning. That is what we have our eye on when it comes to tomorrow's weather for Memorial Day. So as we look at the nice weather in Midtown right now, we'll bring in First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi to talk about the timing of the storms. They might be hitting right when people are going out to pay their respects.
Yeah, absolutely. The morning does look pretty stormy. And with that said, this forecast is really tricky because we're going to be watching some of those thunderstorm complexes that can be really tough to time out because models struggle with figuring out exactly where and when they are going to hit. But right now, models have been trending that tomorrow morning will be prime time for a line of showers and storms very similar to yesterday to move through. So we'll talk about that. Tomorrow is a first alert weather day, but today going to be hot, going to be humid. That's the name of the game, and mostly dry. We could have a couple of thunderstorms. So let's talk about it. I'm sure a lot of you headed out to the lake. In fact, you can see right now behind that graphic, that live camera from Lake Lanier, people headed out on one of their pontoon boats. Handful of boats headed out, leaving the dock in the marina right now. It's going to be a nice day on Lake Lanier. Temperatures topping out in the upper 80s today over in Hall County. And then Alatoona, highs near 90 today. Lake Rabun and Lake Burton, further northeast you go. You could have an isolated storm. You'll also experience a little more cloud cover today with temperatures in the low 80s, but nonetheless, it'll be a really great afternoon. High temperature in the city of Atlanta today, 92 degrees. The record high, 95. So we'll be very close to the record today. And it's going to feel like the mid-90s. So even though we might not hit that at the surface, it's going to feel like record heat. The average high this time of year, 83. Here's looking at your high temperatures area-wide. Mid to upper 80s, low 90s in a handful of spots, including Eatonton, down towards Griffin, Athens, of course, Atlanta, Rome. Low 80s for the mountains yesterday. After the morning rain, that kind of hindered our temperatures from climbing very quickly. So we topped out at 85 yesterday. It was actually a really great day. Now looking out to our west, here's a look at first alert radar. We've had a really, really rough start for the Midwest and parts of the Great Lakes region. Severe weather continues there. Tornado watch in effect for a handful of states, including Kentucky, parts of Tennessee, and it looks like Indiana now as well. So they've had some tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. That thunderstorm complex will continue to push east, and that is what could potentially bring us maybe an isolated storm this afternoon, especially north and east of Atlanta. Now, I'm not expecting necessarily severe weather with that, but any storms that develop just because of how much fuel we have out there could be on the stronger side with some gusty wind and heavy rain. But the chance for storms today, extremely isolated, 10% or less. But that cold front that's trailing behind, that'll move through tomorrow evening. What we'll look for over the next couple of days, today, this storm system to move east to offer us maybe an isolated storm notice around 6 o'clock. Do you see that little green speck just north of Gainesville? That's what I'm talking about. Extremely isolated. But because of all the humidity, if we do have that storm complex pass and some of that energy, if we feed off of some of that energy, a few thunderstorms could develop. Overnight Monday, this is a new model run now. It looks like we could have a few showers and storms enter in, mostly dry at that point. This particular model is slowing down a little bit. Earlier this morning, around 5 o'clock, models were thinking that that line of storms was going to be moving into northwest Georgia. So now slowing down a little bit, which, like I said, models do struggle with the timing and placement of these, what we call mesoscale convective systems. I know it sounds crazy. All you need to know is they're smaller scale features that pack a really big punch, and they're really tough for models to figure out, especially more than like 12 hours out. So here's a look at 7 a.m. Showers and storms moving in. Models have been in agreement that as this pushes south, it's going to fall apart. I'm not sure how much I buy that. We're going to have a lot of moisture in the air for this to kind of take advantage of as it moves through. So we're going to keep the chance for scattered showers and storms through 10 o'clock. So again, a lot of the late morning Memorial Day events tomorrow, the chance for showers and storms remains. And then we'll just keep the chance for afternoon thunderstorms through the heat of the day. So very much like a summer day, we'll watch for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms after lunchtime. But if you have afternoon Memorial Day plans, of course, a lot of people probably going to be hitting the pool. If you're headed to any of the Memorial Day services, there's a Braves game tomorrow afternoon at 4:10. They're back in town. Looks mainly dry for that right now. Cold front moves in late in the evening, so all of the morning activity is just along a thunderstorm complex, kind of like yesterday morning. Then our cold front moves through. That'll offer a little extra lift for some more storms to develop, especially along and south of I-20. So if you're south of I-20, the evening could end up pretty stormy for you, and then we'll start to dry out as we head into Tuesday. Now, we do have the chance for severe weather tomorrow, and the main threat's going to be wind and lightning. We're going to have very electric storms carrying some gusty wind that could lead to some downed trees and power lines, very similar to how we had yesterday. The tornado threat isn't none, but it is very low, and we'll mainly be looking within that morning line of storms. After that morning line of storms moves through, our atmosphere will kind of stabilize, and it's going to be hard to regenerate enough energy for severe weather in the afternoon, but I do think we could still have an isolated strong storm in the afternoon. But this in particular, severe weather-wise, I think that's mainly going to be a morning thing for us, and we'll have the potential for maybe some small hail as well. Good news, after the stormy day tomorrow, the humidity is going to drop off. So just in time for everyone to go back to work, right? I would say school, but I think a lot of the kids are out of school. We have low humidity through the week, so it'll be pretty comfortable. Enjoy it, because that's rare this time of year as we head into the summer months, of course. Here's a look at the temperatures. Again, we'll be close to 90. Today we'll hit the low 90s, and then we'll be close to 90 Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll go back in the mid-80s by late week. We'll start the morning in the 50s and 60s, so we'll have some really comfortable mornings on the way this week as well. And I'll show you that with our First Alert 7-day forecast. So today, hot, humid, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, maybe an isolated storm, especially north and east of Atlanta. Metro should stay dry. Monday, First Alert Weather Day, we'll have a round of rain and storms in the morning, some severe with the chance for afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms. So the afternoon is drier, but not completely dry. So just stay weather aware tomorrow. And then we'll be hot and dry Tuesday, waking up in the mid-60s on Tuesday, highs in the mid-80s Wednesday. But look, Thursday and Friday morning, I think some of our suburbs could be in the 50s. So it'll be a really comfortable morning with low humidity. It'll feel kind of like an early spring morning Thursday and Friday morning. Highs in the low 80s Thursday, mid 80s on Friday. And then as we head into Saturday, maybe a stray shower Saturday. Also Wednesday, we could have a few thunderstorms as well. So overall, not a bad looking week once we get past a pretty stormy Memorial Day. And again, make sure you tune back in with us a little later today. I believe First Alert meteorologist Patrick Pete will be here tonight in for Cutter Martin. And he'll have an updated timing for you for that thunderstorm complex that's supposed to move in tomorrow morning. Things are already starting to change just from earlier this morning to now the late morning model runs. So I do anticipate that changing a little bit more as we head through the day. Just a forecast to stay on top of. We're in a really tricky pattern. I know you've heard us probably all talk about it, how tricky this pattern's been that we're in. And we do continue that, unfortunately, as we round out the long weekend. So just be sure to stay tuned. We'll keep you covered and get you ready for the fairly stormy First Alert Weather Day for tomorrow. All right, everyone, I hope you make it a wonderful day. Stay hydrated today. It's going to be hot and humid, so be sure you're drinking plenty of water. Thanks so much for spending time with us this morning, and we'll catch you here next time.